Welcome to the Deep Dive. If you're joining us, it's because you're looking for a clear, direct analysis of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because right now, instability isn't just a storyline, it's the team's operating procedure. We've got a massive stack of sources today, from detailed reports on Sportsnet to recent team releases, and our mission is to cut through the noise.
Exactly. This isn't just about a few bad losses. We are dealing with a club that's experienced a really rapid series of shocks, both organizational and on the roster. We need to distill this down to the three core pressure points.
Clearly.
The coaching crisis, which came out of nowhere, the severe hits to the offense, and this suddenly exposed instability on defense and, of course, in the goalie crease.
We really want to give you the shortcut to understanding all this chaos. In just a few weeks, we've seen a top assistant coach get fired, a star forward scratched minutes before puck drop, and the depth chart, both in net and on the blue line, just get decimated by injuries all at once. This is a crucial late-season moment, and the team is, well, it's in a state of operational crisis.
And that crisis demands adaptability from everyone who's left standing. The whole goal of this deep dive is to give you the sourced facts, so you can understand not just what happened, but why these events point to a much deeper management challenge, and of course what the consequences are for the rest of the season.
Okay, let's start unpacking this with the biggest organizational move, because it really signals that management is willing to make mid-season sacrifices to fix performance. Let's talk about the firing of assistant coach Marc Savard.
That decision was massive, and the timing, it was intentionally brutal, right before the holiday break. Savard was brought in specifically back in June of 2024 to run the power play, to structure the whole offensive attack.
It was supposed to be a reunion, right? He had worked with head coach Craig Berube before.
Yeah, in St. Louis, back in the 2019-20 season, so this was supposed to be a comfortable fit.
And the reason he was dismissed is just laid out so plainly in the numbers. You really can't look away from them. At the time he was fired, the Toronto power play was converting at a dismal 13.3%. To put that in perspective for you, that ranked them dead last 32nd in the entire NHL.
Dead last. And it was trending downward and fast. If you look just at December, the unit scored, 2 power play goals across 27 opportunities.
That's awful.
It is. That included a brutal 0-for-10 streak on a recent road trip. And what makes this failure so startling is the immediate comparison. Last year, with pretty much the same core guys.
Right, the same players.
This unit was running at 24.8% efficiency, 9th best in the NHL.
So, okay, the core players haven't changed, but the system and the results have totally collapsed. But let me ask you this. This core has struggled on the power play under other coaches too. Isn't it a little unfair to pin this whole collapse on one assistant coach after only half a season? Is this move maybe a way to distract from some longer-standing systemic issues?
That's a very fair question, and it's the narrative that popped up immediately. But management chose to focus on the area of, specific immediate failure. As reported by Nick Capreos on Sportsnet, the analysis was that Savard's system just became too predictable. It got rigid. Opposing penalty kills started keying in on the half-wall passing options because the zone entries were, they were too reliant on a single pattern, the players weren't adapting, or maybe the scheme didn't allow them to adapt when that first look failed. That contrast, between almost 25% and 13%, it forced management's hand. They had to address the coach directly responsible.
And the losses right before the decision were certainly a catalyst. A crushing 5-1 defeat to the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
And then that demoralizing 4-0 shutout loss to Washington, where the Leafs went 0-for-5 on the power play alone.
Yeah.
The optics were just indefensible.
And what's fascinating here is how they handled it internally. Management addressed the problem tied to Savard's specialized role, but they didn't announce an external replacement. Instead, assistant coaches Derek Lowland, who does have some power play experience, and Mike Van Ryn, who's the defensive systems guy, they just absorbed the responsibilities.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me. Berube just lost his hand-picked guy. And now he has to fix the most broken unit on his team with coaches whose main job is somewhere else. This puts direct, immediate pressure right on Berube to stabilize those special teams, doesn't it? The analysis out there suggests his seat is quite hot.
Absolutely. Management chose not to fire the head coach, but removing his closest tactical partner is a strong, let's call it a vote of conditional confidence. He's now relying on an internal fix, this complex reshuffling of duties to save the power play. Sportsnet indicated management is basically prioritizing evaluation right now to guide what they do next. If the results don't turn around quickly, say within the first month post-Savard, then that evaluation of Berube himself becomes the next logical step. The clock is ticking.
Okay, let's shift from the tactical issues on the bench to the chaos on the ice. The personnel crisis, starting with that sudden, very dramatic loss of a top offensive weapon, William Nylander.
Yeah, the late scratch drama here just perfectly captures how unpredictable this period has been. Nylander, a top 6 forward, absolutely crucial for their power play. He was ruled out with a lower body injury just minutes before puck drop.
Minutes.
After a final evaluation. This wasn't something they knew about at the morning skate. This was immediate, forced, in an unplanned lineup shift right as the game was about to start.
And Coach Berube gave the typical non-update.
Yeah.
He confirmed it was day-to-day, but gave absolutely no timetable, no description of how bad it was, not even when it happened. He just said, he's day-to-day, we'll see how he responds.
And that non-information has a real practical impact. The coaching staff had almost no time to reorganize the entire forward group. They had to move depth players into these suddenly huge roles and break up line combinations that really rely on Nylander's speed and his puck handling.
And you and I talk about this all the time on these deep dives. He's a master of controlled zone entries. Let's focus on that for a second. Why is that specific skill, controlled zone entries, so critical for him and for the team's success?
Well, a controlled zone entry just means you carry the puck over the blue line with possession. You're not just dumping it in and then fighting to get it back.
Which leads to more possession time.
Exactly. Way more possession time and much better scoring chances. Nylander's blend of speed and confidence means he's one of the few guys on that roster who consistently does it. When he's out, the team just defaults to dumping the puck, and then they're chasing, relying on luck or physical battles. It just strains the entire offensive structure.
So this day-to-day label, it sounds minimal, but it actually creates this massive psychological uncertainty for everyone, not just for the line combinations. They're forced into a fresh evaluation every single morning.
Exactly. They have no certainty. They don't know who they have until the final checks are done, sometimes an hour before a game. That constant uncertainty, it disrupts chemistry, it forces these critical real-time adjustments under game pressure, and you're demanding that replacement players somehow maintain a top 6 forwards intensity and production. That's a huge ask.
So if the offense is taking these unpredictable hits, the defense and the net are dealing with multiple compounding problems. It feels like every time we check the reports, another name is just added to the IR list.
It is a devastating compounding problem, and we're seeing that depth get completely exposed. The latest significant injury was to defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson, we'll just call him EL. He left a game against the Sharks in the 3rd period after his left ankle just bent awkwardly behind the net. And EL is a major loss. At the time, he was one of the top scoring defensemen on the roster. 4 goals, 16 assists in 29 games. That kind of offense from the blue line is almost irreplaceable.
And his injury didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened to a defense that was already severely depleted. I mean, we need to remind everyone of who was already out. Chris Tanev, out since early November with a head and neck injury.
Right.
Brandon Carlo had lower body surgery, and Dakota Mermis is dealing with a knee injury. So Toronto was suddenly without multiple regular defensemen, relying on their depth guys for huge minutes against top lines.
And that changes everything strategically. When you lose that many regulars, your top D pairing has to play massive minutes. We're talking upwards of 20